Hey, what's up guys? And first of all, if you would like to support me and the channel, my PayPal will be in the description, so thank you very much. And I'm back. Welcome back to Anime King 2. I'm here with a finale of What If Naruto Wasn't a Naive Idiot, guys. I just want to say thank you all very much. Thank you all for the support. It has truly been amazing for this series, guys. So I want to thank each and every one of you for staying in tune, and thank you for all the support, the comments, likes. Those who are new because of this video, it's been amazing. However, you already know that new what ifs are coming up soon. I already posted over my community tab and I got some amazing new ideas. So yeah, if you would like to go ahead, I posted around 4 days ago on all the channels. So if you want your what if to be done by me, just go on the community post and check it out and comment your ideas. And they will be done by me, guys. So without further ado or wasting more time, let us begin the finale, guys. So the last part that we left off, Jiraiya woke up. He was surprised. He never expected to open his eyes to this reality ever again. He clearly believed that he would have been dead. But no, here he was, breathing and alive. And that stunned him. Yes, it truly stunned him. As him and Tsunade started to talk, she was concerned about him, worried about him. As they were talking, they tried to understand many things about Naruto, as Jiraiya realized that not even his sage-enhanced blows were affecting Naruto that bad. Something was just wrong there, as they were trying to understand. However, Jiraiya was a very smart individual. Remembering the depths of the battle with Naruto, it's almost like Naruto was warping space. It led him to think about Naruto mastering the Rasengan to a new level, as he questioned if could it be possible that Naruto somehow mastered the Flying Raijin? That could be the sign of the instant teleportation. Without any drawbacks, it had to be, right? They questioned as they tried to understand. Meanwhile, that was going on. News started to break. Due to him being out of commission, news flooded in about what happened with Orochimaru. The organization, the Akatsuki, they gathered once again. They were warned, yes they were, by the leader, well mostly Itachi, that Sasuke would be probably coming after him, so he should look out for that. But Orochimaru was dead, courtesy of none other than Sasuke Uchiha. So with that, time passed by as Sasuke formed his team and went after Orochimaru. Before that though, surprisingly, Naruto arrived to find none other than Sasori and Deidara. It seems like he hunted them down. She attacked Sasori first. She bodied him. She demolished him. Sasori was an S-rank ninja, so that was, well, unusual. Her strength, her speed, she was a completely different monster. Deidara believed that he could escape, was stopped by Naruto. Naruto beat the living crap out of Deidara, showing off some of his more dangerous techniques, like the Rasen Shuriken. The thing tore Deidara apart. However, something was wrong with Naruto, as you could see it when he dropped down to one knee. However, he did not say much of it. Rising back to his feet, they continue on. A team from Konoha was selected with Kakashi Hatake leading it, and Yamato being second in command. They were supposed to find Sasuke. They were supposed to find Itachi, as Sasuke was still not a completely lost cause. So with that, the team made their way. Sasuke was given the location of Itachi by none other than Itachi himself, believing that it was time to face his brother. Kisame stopped the other members from going ahead as Sasuke finally came face to face with his brother. A battle immediately ensued between the two, filled with genjutsu at first until they broke out of that as they started to clash against one another. A furious battle between the two, showing the dominance, showing who was the stronger. However, it seems like Itachi was not acting with the interest to kill Sasuke. Naruto was there observing the match, observing what was taking place. However, the team saw him, mostly the Hyugas Neji and Hinata, as they were stopped by the masked man. Naruto told Shi to go and stop him from killing them, as he seemed to have a plan there. The masked man absorbed her within his dimension, which was strange because she was so calm. He had no idea who she was, but she was with Naruto Uzumaki. He would try to find out by using her, but she simply sat down. She wasn't afraid. She wasn't afraid that she was stuck here. Neji was the one to make his way back by Yamato to try to see why Naruto was here and what he desired. Naruto spoke to Neji. As he spoke about the past, what they spoke about change in the world. He had to do something. Naruto gave Neji a gift by stripping the curse mark away from his forehead, shocking the Hyuga as he couldn't believe it. All of them were shocked, because the only way to remove something like that was to kill the wielder, but somehow Naruto removed it, rather easily if I might say. With that, Naruto arrived. As he arrived there to see none other than Sasuke and Itachi. Itachi was dead. The masked man tried to suck Naruto up, but somehow Naruto stopped his technique. Yes, he stopped it. As she then stepped out completely unfazed, shocking the masked man. But Naruto did not take Sasuke. He told him to go ahead and take him. He was playing a long game here. With that, Naruto walked away, only to greet the Konoha team. They had no chance of stopping him as him and she left. Time passed after that, as Sasuke, now fully aware of what his brother was forced to do. He was going to destroy Konoha, but at the same time, 3 elders, even Danzo Shimura, was kidnapped from Konoha. Naruto brought them all after kidnapping Sasuke. He allowed Sasuke to gain his vengeance by burning them. A complicated talk happened between the two as Sasuke was trying to figure out what Naruto was up to. But Naruto was being cryptic as usual, especially when it came to Shi's identity. As the both of them thought, Naruto returned Sasuke back to his team and told him that they will see each other before the end. A rather cryptic statement on his part. However, soon after the masked man arrived, he grabbed Naruto with chains, trying to restrain him, but she arrived and pushed her hand through his chest. He was stunned because his technique was activated, but somehow she broke through it, shocking him as she ripped her hand through his chest, leaving him gravely wounded as he fled into his dimension. With that, Naruto told Sasuke that it has begun. The war. It was going to begin now. With that, they made their way off, leaving Sasuke and his team. Sasuke having a new perspective about everything after there's a small conversation with Naruto. So yeah guys, that was basically as we left off. So sit back, relax, and I hope you guys enjoy the final episode. Let us begin now guys. The rain was pouring as his hand reached up towards his chest. The memories of that girl ripping her hand straight through him still haunt him to this day. It was the first time in a very long while that he felt that defenseless, that he felt like he was going to die. A bit more over and she would have tore right through his heart. And that was their gravest mistake. Their mistake was keeping him alive, and for that, the both of them will go down. He's lost track of Sasuke and his team, having no idea where he was. However, it was time that his puppet put the true focus of the organization on Naruto. It was time those people are taken care of before they could do something that could not be reversed. They were becoming too problematic, venturing to speak towards His puppet, who believed that he was leading the organization. He made his way there. As he came face to face with the body of Tendo, walking down the halls, the both of them sat down. He did not speak about his embarrassing moment of almost dying. However, he spoke about the threat. But the thing that got Tendo eyes widening was the fact that this individual not only possessed not one, not two, not three, not even four, but 5 of the tail beasts he needs to be dealt with. Zetsu was already on the hunt, taking everything else that he was focusing on, putting that to the side, and focusing on one goal. They've already lost 2 of their Akatsuki members, and Itachi was now dead, leaving the immortal duo and Kisame. They were on standby, as the Akatsuki were being hunted right now by this individual. It is time that the leader of the organization, as he believed, descended upon him and showed him the power of a god. You could see it on her face. Konan was still concerned, having her doubts from hearing about what this Naruto Uzumaki was capable of. As the masked man left, someone that she did not even trust completely, she stood there for about 30 minutes, simply gazing up towards the heavens, thinking about her life here within the organization, thinking about their goal here. Having 5 tailed beasts under his control, he had enough power to completely destroy one of the great nations, and given his testimony that he would wipe out half of the population if they did not, well, basically do as he say. There will be deaths, countless deaths. The Kages, they're arrogant, and they're going to refuse to bow down. As she wondered, will this coexist with their plan, with hers and Nagato's plan, because she saw it as hers as well. Konan was confused, not understanding what was going on, as she felt something pressed against her throat. Something was poking her. She tried to disassemble her body into paper, but somehow she could not. Her gaze focused on the hand that was on her shoulder. "Who are you?" she questioned. "My name is She. It's a pleasure to meet you, Konan." The now identified She said, raising her chakra output. You could feel it immediately, the change, and he could feel it as well. Stepping out from where he was, Tendo arriving on the scene. Given the brief conversation that was taken a moment ago, he was not put back in stasis. The eyes of the Renegon gazed towards this mysterious figure in front of him, and what he saw was something he could not understand. This person, was it even a person, he questioned. Looking at the masked figure, something was wrong though. Konan could easily free herself by disassembling her body. He then focused on the right hand that was on Konan's shoulder. Somehow this person was negating the efforts of her Kikigenkai. What the hell was going on? Nagato was thinking all of this while looking through the eyes of Tendo. As long as you comply, she will not be harmed. Unless you would like to attack me right here, which will result in her death. And I promise you, as high and mighty as you feel, as powerful as you think you are, she will die before you kill me, she said, her tone steel and cold. Her gaze under that mask watching Tendo. He did not react that much. You are the one that is traveling with the Jinjuliki. His name is Naruto Uzumaki. Remember that, she said. Sorry I'm late. Tendo gaze slowly turned towards the individual that was currently gazing over the tower edge. What was this? How did he step foot in the village like that? Some sort of advanced teleportation. Konan did not dare move. There's no need to hold her hostage, she said, Naruto. Attacking us would mean the end of their village. She released Konan and stepped back. Nagato was about to do something, but Konan raised her hand, actually stopping him. "What do you mean?" she said. His words, cryptic. Now that she gazed into those eyes, seeing him for the first time, this was the one that was causing all of those trouble. He was young. Yes, he was. For someone so young to hold such power, I threatened the Raikage that if he attacked me, I would kill 50 of his people. He did not listen. So I killed him, said Naruto. However, if you were to raise your hand and attack me right now, I will destroy 90% of your village. And that will be on you. The eyes of the Rinnegan looked around as the other paths of pain came out of their containers, ready to find out what the hell was going on. Tendo stepped forward, pushing past Konan. Have you come to turn yourself and the other tail beasts over to me? Realizing that your efforts are meaningless. You are a mere child, standing to a god, he said. Naruto looked up toward the sky, not even looking at Tendo. The next moment the rain, it stopped. Both of them were shocked. I apologize if it's your thing, but the constant dripping was becoming quite annoying, said Naruto, brushing off his clothing. He stopped the rain, and he didn't even move. The Rinnegan was seeing something, but whatever it was so distorted. Whatever it was, it seemed to be powerful enough to counteract the vision of, allowing the Rinnegan to see through it and see what it is. This person was much more dangerous than he was letting on. You are the place leader of the Akatsuki, known as Pain, the muscle, the power, said Naruto. I would simply like to have a conversation with you. If we don't agree on any of what I'm about to tell you, we can fight. Away from your village if you like, without the threat of your people being in danger. If you best me, I'll give you the information of all the tail beasts, he said. So you would simply like to have a conversation with me? And that is all, Tendo said. Yes, just a small sit down, so we can have a talk, Naruto said as he held his hand out. 4 chairs appeared, and a table in the center. He sat down as she sat beside him. Tendo saw it. Doing that, whatever he did, he saw it. The flicker, the tear in space. He did not quite understand it, but whatever this technique was, it had to do with ripping space itself. He warped this table here, but to what degree? Was it some sort of space dimension, he questioned. What kind of power truly was it? Konan saw there was a seat for her as well. Naruto saw her gaze. I would like to hear your input as well, he said. You've been by his side for a long time, I presume. Given the closeness that you two seem to share for one another. The fact that he got that from just spending a few minutes now with them. His eyes were always looking. Some of the most powerful people in the world was currently sitting down with one another, their hands resting on the table. Naruto went first as a show of fate. I'm curious, if I hand myself and the tail beast over to you, what exactly will you do with all that power? He said. Tendo was quiet for a long while. While that was going on, the other paths of pain were trying to understand how he was going to eliminate 90% of the village. As they were scanning the village, simply making sure there was nothing there. However, they could buy time. It doesn't matter because he will not be leaving this place. Are you trying to associate your own ideals with mine? Tendo said. Because if you are wrong. We are nothing alike, he said. You're a little waste of time going around doing threats. will never bring the true result that is going to fix this world. So that is your desire, she said. As Conan gazed towards her, she seemed to have no problem speaking as well. Conan believed that it was all him. Perhaps it wasn't just that he was in control. Perhaps they were true partners. My desire is to fix this broken world, to make a change, to make a difference. And the power of the tail beast will help me do that. How? Naruto said. I will build a weapon that I will use against the nations. You desire to bring their downfall if they don't listen to you. But I shall show them true power. I will make a war. I will create devastation so bad that mankind will stray away from it. That mankind will realize that they no longer need to slaughter. That they no longer need to bring destruction. They will become so sickened, so tired by it all, that they will look forward for a different future. A change where their children can be raised in a world without corruption and death right around the corner, he said. So your goal is to create a weapon so powerful that everyone simply abandons their desire for hatred and war. Exactly. Nagato said. Are you immortal? She questioned. Why does that concern my answer? Tendo spoke. Well, she's asking because it's simple. Are you going to be around forever to make sure this weapon stays in place? What happened one day when you die? Your generation after that? Will you entrust this weapon in the hands of someone that is as pure as you? How do you know? How can you foresee the future that whoever you hand this weapon off to, even if you destroy it, what will happen then? How do you know that the superiority won't go to the head of this individual? Or if you destroy it, that they won't simply start conflicts once again? You don't understand, Tendo said. After what I do, you have seen mankind, have you? Said Naruto. You have seen smaller nations bow. You have seen smaller nations revolt. All they need is time. Realizing that they can't win today, they would simply relax tomorrow. But what about the other day? What about the other week? What about the other month or year? You're a good man, said Naruto. I thought you would be some sort of mindless buffoon, but you are not. You're not an idiot, but your plan is stupid. Extremely so. Watch your words. You know nothing about me, my desires or my plan. You believe that what you see fit is best because your mind is so simple, not truly understand the true spectrum of hate. Oh, trust me, I understand it more than you can think, said Naruto. There will be people like you that will be needed for my world, Naruto said, getting to his feet. What? I need people like you alive. You see, you have the desire. Especially with her, said Naruto, pointing towards Conan. With her by your side, you can actually fix this world. However, this power that you have, it has to go. You've deluded yourself, twisted your own ideals, confused yourself believing that you're some sort of god, but you are not. You are merely a man with power. A man that has unbelievable strength, but you are no god. Nagato hand shot upwards as Naruto was yanked towards him. Having found nothing to symbolize him being able to kill 90% of the village, Nagato grabbed Naruto's throat and smashed him through the table. Conan rose. Despite her whole foundation shaking a bit because of this simple man and his words, Nagato was still everything to her. Immediately, paper wings formed from her back. She sent kunais and shuriken straight towards she. However, when she heard a rather gut-wrenching sound, she turned her gaze only to look in shock. The entire chest area of Tendo was ripped open, his arms dropping down to the ground, his lifeless head collapsing down. She was shocked, confused. When she hit her, having taken her eye off the ball, she burst through solid stone, crashing with such force she slammed down right next to the original. Nagato was confused. One moment he was holding Naruto with the hand of Tendo, siphoning his chakra away, but the next moment, this sensation washed over him. The power that he was siphoning was just, he couldn't explain it. The next moment, Naruto raised his hand and without any movement, just a raise, his chest was ripped apart. And now Konan dropped. She had several broken bones. Konan could not move. She did not dematerialize her body fast enough. She was hit, and one punch was enough to do her like this. Considering that some of the metals were, yes, that metals, Konan could not move. The mere fact that she was still conscious was a testimony to her strength. As the both of them arrive, immediately Nagato launched a powerful spear from his mechanical walker, only for she to grab it. As she cancelled out all of the strength, she turned and threw it. It ripped into Nagato's shoulder. She sped and gripped his neck and tore him out of the mechanical walker. He raised his hand to crush her where she stood, but Naruto grabbed his hand, pulling him away and slamming him into the floor. Naruto then raised his leg and stepped on him. That is when problem rose. Somehow, with just a step, the entire ground caved in, making them fall to another floor. Nagato was a mess. As the spear was ripped out of his shoulder, Naruto placed a foot on his chest, stepping down on the so-called god. As I said, you're not a god, you're just a very powerful man. A very powerful man that has been diluting himself. A very powerful man with a terrible background, I presume. Naruto looked at She as he gave her a nod. She stepped at Konan and placed her hand on her chest. Konan started to feel her broken bones mending back together. She was just looking down at her, that black mass usually, looking so lifeless. I need the both of you to see this, said Naruto. Chains. Black chains came from his back and wrapped around their head. The next moment they found themselves, all four of them, standing within a veil, on a box. Where are we? Said Konan, surprised that she was still on her feet. Nagato looked down. He was walking. He was walking. Look, Naruto said. That is when they saw the masked man. And they saw Zetsu as well. They were within the masked man dimension. Zetsu was healing the masked man, placing his tissues inside of the gaping hole in his chest, ensuring that he doesn't die. Once he was fully healed, he got up, pissed off. How did that happen? Zetsu questioned. That girl that accompanied him, she shoved her hand through my chest. How did she get past your Kamui? He reached up and tore off the mask, rage in his eyes. I don't know, he said, wiping the blood away from his lips, signifying to the two that this was indeed not Madara Uchiha. Well, they already had their doubts. It seems like they're more of a threat than we originally believed. Zetsu said, I'm going to send Nagato after them. They already have 5 of the tail beasts. We have to move quickly. I still don't know what they're planning, but I won't allow them to screw up the infinite Tsukiyomi plan. What if they're stronger than Nagato? Zetsu questioned. You have to look at all options after all. Then I'll simply take his eyes, and I'll find a way. He's nothing but a pawn in my game after all. The next moment they found themselves back where they were. Konan no longer felt like she was going to die, but she still felt in pain. She did not heal her completely. As for Nagato, The infinite Tsukiyomi, said Naruto. He desired to put the world in an endless sleep. I overheard him in his little dimension. He's going to take the tail beasts and fuse them together to create a beast known as a Ten-Tail, the progenitor of the tail beasts, the original before the Sage of Six Paths, said to have split it into 9. He's going to use that to place a genjutsu over the entire world. You see, he was just playing you, because as you believe that you were the leader in his game, you were the puppet, and you've been playing your part rather well, said Naruto, as he knelt down. But don't worry, it's over. I'll kill him for you, to ensure that he doesn't intervene anymore. The Akatsuki is no longer needed. You will see my plan unfold, and you and many others I've already seen will stand up and come together to build a better world, to ensure that this one never repeats itself. Remember, the land of rain is not only the only land in this world, and if you isolate it and yourself, it will surely fall, even without anything at your disposal. Naruto got up and started to make his way. As she stepped towards him, "Wait," Konan said. "What are you planning? Just mass destruction? How is that different from using a weapon against them?" The destruction only comes when they refuse the first warning. The population. An attack is needed for them to truly understand. But in the end, through the destruction there shall be unity. Naruto said as he warped away, along with she. Konan pulled herself over towards Nagato to aid him, looking down towards him, seeing a look on his face. A look of absolute defeat. She did not know if it was a memory or if it was the power of being outclassed. She did not know. However, she was here to aid him. He was still her friend. He still meant so much to her. A distance away, both Naruto and she reappeared. "It is time that we truly get started." She grabbed his hand. Pulling him around, she ripped open his shirt. As Naruto's muscular, slim-fitted chest showed to the world. His skin was a bit pale. However, that was not the problem. There were strange black linings running up his body, going to his neck. "Weren't you going to say something?" "I'm fine," said Naruto. "You're clearly not." She raised her hand, but Naruto grabbed it. "It's the only way," she said. "What if this time?" She cut him off. "Don't worry. I'm still strong enough to keep it at bay." She placed her hand on Naruto's chest. All of the black linings started to run into her. As she dropped to one knee, strange black marking ran into her skin. As her head fell downwards, the mask somehow fell off her face. She looked up. Pain. As the mask that hit the ground, it was no longer there. Whatever this was, it wasn't a material that seemed to be physical. Due to the pain that was now coursing through her, her face looked up and greeted Naruto. Naruto immediately looked away. "I apologize," she said, as the mask returned back on her face. "It's alright," he said as she rose to her feet. "See, I told you, I'm able to keep it at bay." Naruto nodded. "It's only for a bit longer, and we can finally rest," he said. With that, the both of them made their way off. Time skip. Zetsu has dug up nothing on him, but they needed to find him. Confusion was clearly going through the masked man's mind as he was suddenly sucked into his own spiraling vortex. He did not activate his ability, so he was clearly greatly confused. Looking around, he was greeted by the two of them. Immediately, his guard was up, ready to fight. "You know, I met my parents, Naruto said, both hands in his pockets as he walked. I met my parents a few years ago, said Naruto. I did not tell them about my action because I knew they would be disappointed. They told me about their life, and I was glad I got to meet them. My father told me about the man that took the 9 tails out of my mother. The man that caused all of this. The one that is responsible for everything. For making me become a Jinchuriki. However, I'm not some omnipotent being that can see in different timelines and know what would have happened if I grew up with my parents. But I knew it would be a lot better than this. Perhaps from day one I wasn't correct in the mind. I never saw things the way normal children saw things. Perhaps I was just different, said Naruto. However, I do blame you for what happened. Because you stripped the 9 tails from my mother. To believe that you were the student of my father, Obito Uchiha. I wonder, what would Kakashi say if he saw you now? Obito was shocked. There's no use hiding it. I'm sure you can feel it. You can't leave this place. Obito was quiet. Concern coursing through him because he could not warp out of his own space. That should be impossible. As she started to walk, Obito kept his eyes on both of them. There is no winning here. You're strong, but you're not that strong, said Naruto. Obito sped through hand sign and release. A powerful swirling vortex of flames shot in towards the two of them. It expanded as it moved. Both Naruto and she blitzed out of the way, leaping to another box. They blitzed towards him as he raised his arm. He tried to block Naruto's blow. Realizing that something was wrong, he ducked. He jumped away. She lashed out at him as he stepped back and leaped towards one of the other boxes, blurring through hand sign as he did, releasing a massive, interminable flame that sped towards her. She slammed her foot down into the box. Before she proceeded to push her hand into the cube, she twists and raised it, somehow changing the aspect of the floating gravitational force inside, blocking the massive fireball. He landed as he dashed away, running deeper within the dense, obscure dimension of his, wondering what the hell was going on. Why can't he leave this place? That is when he heard the footsteps. He looked behind him but he saw nothing. His eyes widened in shock as Naruto was stepping in perfect synchrony with him. He turned and lashed out a fist as Naruto blocked it. He lashed out another as he did a spinning kick. He followed up with a 3-piece combo to Naruto's gut and face, but each of them were blocked. It was almost like he was reading his move like he had the goddamn Sharingan. They broke apart as the masked man felt something. The mask on his face breaking into pieces, revealing his face. Obito Uchiha was shocked. He did not hit him. How did his mask break? You're slower than I thought, said Naruto as he held a small item in his hand. On closer inspection, it was a piece of Obito's mask. As he crushed it within his palm, dust floating out of his hand. You're curious. Curious about my strength. I'm sure that my display so far has left a lot of people shocked. My words are not to stroke my own ego or trying to be arrogant, but you can't beat me, said Naruto. In fact, you're already dead. You just don't know it yet, said Naruto. With a snap of his finger, the space around Obito's legs started to fold in on itself and crush the bone in his leg. He collapsed, crying out in pain. Do you think it was strange that she got the chance to kill you and did not take your life? Look, Obito gazed upwards as he saw she standing on one of the cubes. I wanted to be the one to end your life. That is why she did not kill you, said Naruto. You're going to die. With another snap of his finger, the other leg was broken. How are you doing this? Obito said, gritting through his teeth in pain. I suppose I can't tell you. It's not like you're gonna tell anyone. And it wouldn't matter. I'm controlling space. You made a big mistake letting her in here. The moment you did. It took me some time, but I did. Gain control over your little dimension. Explaining that part is a bit more complicated, and I don't feel like wasting my time, said Naruto. But I've learned many things over the years. Things about myself and things that I've learned through the Forbidden Scroll. A scroll that has been passed down through the ages of Konoha. Techniques that are just a piece of a puzzle. Most might see them as single, but I saw some of them that can be united to create something truly special. I control your dimension from the moment you decided to let her in here. Why do you think she wasn't afraid, said Naruto. He clenched his fist as Obito started to scream. His chest felt like it was collapsing in on itself. All that pain that you're feeling, the distortion of the space that you're living in right now, is under my control. While you might think that you are untouchable inside of your own dimension, inside of it, I am God, said Naruto. As he squeezed, blood started to pour from Obito's eyes, nose, and mouth. As Naruto squeezed even more until his chest collapsed in on itself, crushing his insides. He fell, lifeless. Naruto got back to his feet as she landed beside him. How do you feel? I guess I still feel the same, said Naruto. I don't feel as rewarded as I thought it would be to kill him. Then again, I told you, I control this space. I know that you're still alive, said Naruto. Obito Uchiha blinked in shock, having sacrificed one of his eyes in order to survive. Naruto turned his wrath. He lifted both of his hands as all the boxes moved away. Obito tried to jump to one of them, but he was suspended in mid-air. Let's see you come back from this one, said Naruto. He clenched his fists. The environment started to shake. The environment started to rip apart. This was a different dimension entirely. The problem was, the more power he used, the more you could see it. The black veins running along his face. His eye. Naruto's left eye started to bleed. But the blood was not red, it was black. The dark chakra swirling inside and outside of him. A small smile coming to his face. Naruto clenched his fist tight. The boxes crushed Obito as a dimension started to fold in on itself, crushing itself. Both Naruto and she left as the entire place collapsed inwards. In the outside world, Naruto was taking deep breaths, not because he was tired. As the black markings reached up to his face, she tried to place a hand on him, but Naruto stopped her. Not this time, he said. It's too much. I'll handle it. You can't, she said. I said, I'll handle it. He turned towards her as she backed away slightly. Seeing his eyes, Naruto calmed himself down. The marks started to recede before he got to his feet. I apologize, but it's not your time yet. You've already taken too much. Naruto said as he was fully back to his feet, the marks completely gone. But they were not completely erased. While you can't see them, they were still there somewhere. Let's go, he said. You could tell that she was worried, despite her wearing the mask. Time skip. The village was on full security. Since this so-called threat and the death of his 50 people, there hasn't been anything else to show that he was going to show up anytime soon. He warned them that he would come for the Jinjulikis, but, well, they were safely packed away. Until something was sent to the Kage, using their special teleportation device. Something was sent. It was usually sent to send heavy objects and things all over. Not people. The strain on the human body would be too much, but the Kage could use it though because of his physical attributes being that much greater than the normal foe. Word reached him that the Turtle Island, that he sent the tail beasts away, to remain secured and protected, has been destroyed. A shocked look on the right Kage's face, unable to believe it. Meanwhile, at the hidden stone, having already spoken to the two former Jinjulikis that were there, as Oniki raced down the hall, he was flying through the sky. He arrived towards the hidden stone underground bunker, a specialized area large and remote, specially kept in times of war for civilians in case of internal attacks. He found both Han and Roshi, both men that just want to be left alone. Roshi was much more subdued to just, agree, but Han, he was forcefully brought back. But both men were lying there. They were not dead, but they were no longer Jinjulikis either. That meant all 9-tailed beasts were now gone. This was bad. Incredibly so. The right Kage was the first to send word. At Konoha, Tsunade Senju looked towards the letter as she was expecting this sooner than later. Jiraiya was still at the village after his humiliating defeat where Naruto crushed him. He has been going in and out, but he was here right now. She needed him here. While she was going to go out, having Kakashi and Guy accompany her, the other Kages over the world were also going to be attending this meeting. As all of their tail beasts were taken, neither the stone or Kumo knew about the other tail beasts, mostly being the, Kiri, and also the 7 tails. The right Kage immediately planned to have them hand over the 7-tailed Jinjuliki. There was no way that they could keep it safe. That was being rather hypocritical of him, seeing that he could not keep it safe either. However, his brother was alive. So was Yujito. Their tail beast was removed, but they were still breathing. Now that on itself was shocking alone. The meeting had to be called as soon as possible. They were given days to arrive at a neutral spot, the Land of Iron. This had to be kept a well-guarded secret. He's already shown the ability to move in and out of places, but that was their homes where he knew they would be. He did not know about this one as they made their way. Meanwhile that was going on, Naruto was burying something in the ground. It was the head, the severed head of Hidan. As he was immortal, Naruto was throwing dirt on his face. Over to the side, the remains of Kakazu was lying on the ground. In the past few days that flew by since the abduction of the tail beasts, Naruto eliminated the rest of the Akatsuki. The strongest one out of all of them left was Kisame, but not even Kisame stood a chance against him. Zetsu, Naruto hunted him down as well. He ripped Zetsu apart. His power was simply greater than theirs. One by one they fell. The organization was crushed. There has been no word from Nagato or Konan, as they were still within the parameters of their village. Perhaps they truly understand that they could not win. He bested them without taking their life, because he did not fear them. He did not seem to fear anyone. How was he able to gain such strength? How was he able to climb to such a high point that no one could take him down? It was unbelievable to imagine. He was no longer on their level. He was on the level of legends, people like Madara Uchiha or Hoshirama Senju, people that could rearrange landscape. Then again, Nagato had the Rinnegan, but that wasn't truly a battle, it was pure dominance on Naruto's side. Some time flew by as we find Naruto gazing down towards the massive 9-tail. A lush, beautiful land. The 9-tailed fox was currently looking up towards Naruto as he sat on the mountainside. "This is it," said Naruto. "Once I do this, I'll never see you again." In the beginning, the beast despised Naruto. It hated him so. All must be curious why it was working with him now. At first, Naruto made it a deal. It's freedom for knowledge. The dark chakra that Naruto possessed was linked back to something that not even the Nine-Tail knew about. There was many missing information, while the Nine-Tail knew well where it originated from the 10-tailed beast. The information about the essence of dark chakra was, well, he did not know everything. However, the first wielder that was corrupted by the dark chakra was because of the 10 tails. The 10 tails. That power that festered in that man was simply a relic, a small fraction of the 10-tailed power. He had a child that had survived, a child that he believed had died. Throughout history, that lone little link had remained dormant until Naruto, his own hate, his own misguided understanding of humanity, awakened something deep, something dark, giving Naruto access to something else. But it wasn't until a few years ago, his second year while training, Naruto truly was able to understand what it truly was, where he became united with it. He could feel the power, he could feel the control that it wanted to take over him. However, it could also feel something else, the missing pieces that was needed. That is the reason why he took the tail beasts, well, one of them. The other was their freedom. A few did not like it, well, most of the 8 tails. However, B did not die, so the 8-tailed ox wasn't that pissed off. It seemed to have a close relationship with him. None of the Jinchurikis except for Gaara failed. And right now, Naruto gazed over a luscious land. A land that was far as the eye could see. The Nine-Tail had this entire section for himself. Different sections for different beasts. They all started to arrive from the different corners of this strange location that Naruto put them in. One by one they all arrive. Mankind has done all of you horribly, said Naruto. And I just hope that this little sign of my trust in all of you, to show you that you can live in harmony. This will be the last time that you be asked to hand over some of your power. I apologize for the inconvenience, but it is needed for the final phase of my plan. Are you sure this is going to work? Manatabi the Two-Tailed said. Positive, said Naruto. So you're the one then after all. The one that father spoke about. Naruto turned towards the Nine Tails. The one that has been mainly bridging the gap between himself and the other tailed beasts. I saw that a long time ago. But this is not the way that father would want it to have been done. Yeah, we should just squash all of them, Shikaku said, as he was bloodthirsty to destroy human as usual. Perhaps it is not the way. The Five-Tail spoke up, but it is one way, and this will ensure that our father seek and goal for the future, the world that he wanted to see. It will be brought to reality, while not the same, but it will be. So we put our trust in you, the Four-Tail said. All of us will agree to lend you our power to fix this world. Thank you. Thank you all, said Naruto. 9 chains came from his back and stabbed into each and every one of them. Slowly, they started to shrink. They were shrunken until they were small, like a child. Naruto gazed down at them as they were below the cliff. He gave them all a nod, being the last time that he will see them, and the last time that they will be corrupted by mankind. But they will be the one to watch and govern over the world, just like how the sage wanted it to be. Naruto left, as he seemed to step out of a distortion itself. The place behind him was created by him. He literally created a dimension. Jiraiya was right about one thing. Naruto did learn the Flying Raijin, but Naruto changed it. As he stated before, The aspect of many of those techniques and abilities, especially those to warp space, most of them were just a piece of a larger puzzle. Using over thousands upon thousands of clones, constantly pushing yourself without rest, was enough to push Naruto to a different level. In terms of his knowledge and consumption, you see Naruto dark chakra. It did not act as normal chakra. Naruto learned this some time ago. Naruto was controlling space around him, his environment, by simply using his dark chakra which was connected to him. As long as it permeated the area, Naruto could do as he pleased, step in and out of destruction, as he was simply walking in the line, breaking his body down, allowing the dark chakra to truly consume him. But the more it did, the more worse it got for him. It wasn't killing him, but it was doing something to him, something that he couldn't allow. That is why she was here. She walked up towards him. "It's time," she said, despite what Naruto just did. The power seemed to have not taken hold just yet. She could see it. For the first time since setting out on his goal, he knew that he was at the end. You're nervous, afraid." "I'll burn for this," said Naruto. "I'll suffer in the darkest pit. I see what I'm doing as the only solution, but thousands upon thousands are going to die the moment I leave this place." She reached up towards her mask and tapped it as it vanished, exposing her face. When she did, her hair color changed into a vibrant pink color, exposing her beautiful green eyes. It was her, Sakura Haruno. Naruto looked at that face as he tried to look away, but she grabbed the side of his face. "You told me. You need to see this. Once you feel doubt, you need to look at my face. You need to understand why you're doing what you're doing." Naruto looked at her. You could see the look in his eyes. The memories, the future, his own goal that threw everything into whack. Taking the power would only lead to more chaos, as the other nations will scramble to gain more footing, knowing that their tail beasts were gone. "I know I'm not her," she said to Naruto, "and I will never be her. However, I'm the reminder that you set to ensure that you go through. Remember your conviction. Remember what you started. Remember it all." She only looked like Sakura, as Naruto made her that way. He got to his feet as he took her hand in his. Slowly, her body started to break apart. She smiled at him. "I believe in you," she said, as she floated into him. Naruto dropped to his knees, a pain overwhelming him, the power. He had to calm himself down. He had to think straightly, focusing on her memory, focusing on her touch, focusing on her eyes. They were the only things that kept him together. Sakura died a long time ago. However, Naruto created she in her likeness. He learned many things from the Forbidden Scroll. He also learned the Death Reaper seal. However, Naruto did not desire to pull her soul away from the peaceful rest that she was in. After all, she was pure. That is why he would never see her again, because he was dark. Naruto sculpted her human form. He sculpted it. Naruto was able to learn the advance through making a physical manipulation. He made her that way. However, he also split his own soul. So she was basically him, but not him at the same time. Naruto tampered with his soul, just like Orochimaru did. He split his power into two. However, she was a part of him that wasn't restrained by the darkness that was inside of him. However, Naruto allowed his soul to be tampered to the point that it was barely there. So all of the darkness wouldn't be funneling and corrupting it. It will be twisting around it. Dark Chakra only had one goal, one desire, and that was to make Naruto take it back. It was the essence of the tailed beast passed down from the first wielder. Even now he could feel the pull, he could feel the thirst. He was trying his best to push it all away. She had so much power because she had everything that he had as well. And she wasn't restrained by his attention to hold back. Naruto's physical strength and power over the years had grown to a level that he was able to split himself and still retain enough power because of the Dark Chakra. But the Dark Chakra was too powerful. That is why he limited by splitting himself and using she as a reminder for why he was doing this. Because even though he was afraid, even though he could feel that he was going to burn for his next actions, her final words, her face that he looked at, it made him know. It made him know that everything was going to be alright. Because he would leave behind a world that she would be proud of. A world that everyone would be proud of. A world that his parents would be happy to live in. A world where there would be no longer suffering and chaos. A world where children can actually grow up, live their normal life, have a normal job, no longer having to worry about going out to fight and die for your village. He remembered the words of Haku till this day. They were indeed all tools. And he remembers strangling the life out of Haku because he was a tool that did what he was supposed to do. How long has he been on this earth? How much has he already done? But there was still so much left to do. Naruto got to his feet. Time skip. The meeting was on their way. We have to strike now, the right Kage said. Enough of their babbling, enough of their nonsense. With all of them combined, they had the foresight to see everything. Their nations were spamming all over the world. They could use that to their advantage, to take him down, to find him and finally put an end to him. If he has all the tailed beasts at his disposal, what's stopping him from bombing our village? What's stopping him from using all that power at once? How are we supposed to defend against something like that? Meitarumi said. The Raikage tried to come up with a rebuttal. However, she was stern on that, which made him turn it back to her. Are you saying that we should give in to this? He was upset, and you could clearly see that. Tsunade was massaging her temple. Oniki was quiet, thinking about what they truly had to do. As Baki was quiet as well. Baki did not know their next move. His village wasn't as strong as any of theirs. Thank you. Once again, I knew that you would understand, because you've seen it with your own eyes. What war can do. Due to your village, Civil War, said Naruto. Everyone got up immediately. Guards immediately jumped down. Naruto was standing there. You could see the markings along his body, along his neck. It was different. Taking the tail beast's power, it messed with him. Naruto's emotions were dull. He made it so, to make sure that the things that he does not bother him. And that part of his soul that was given to make she her own person. The emotions were dull. That is why she was so calm. That is why she did it. Did everything without a sense of remorse, a sense of holding back, because she knew what was the better end. It was for the greater good. After reabsorbing her, fully attaching his soul back together, it might sound casual, but it could have killed him. One wrong step. However, Naruto's Dark Chakra allowed him to do things much faster than the Sannin, who took years learning how to proficient this, as Naruto did it in a completely different way. Unlike Orochimaru, he did not place it in someone, he created someone. And the final look that he got of Sakura's face was enough to keep him going. He would have imagined that is exactly how she would look in her late teens. All weapons who had them were drawn on Naruto. They were ready to strike him down. As Naruto looked at every member, Meitarumi stepping back, moving away from him. The right Kage was already powered up. Oniki immediately trapped Naruto as he tried to turn him into dust, but the technique simply fizzled out. As stated before the 10 tails, the remnant of the 10 tails was the dark chakra, and Naruto had just swallowed 90% of each of the tail beasts, which means the 10 tails should be revived, but Naruto wasn't allowing it. Instead, he was turning himself into a tail beast. Meanwhile, around the globe, there was at least 100 Narutos. They were all forcefully pushing the dark chakra into the earth. It wouldn't badly harm it forever, but it was needed for now. Little by little, Naruto could feel his control over everything, gaining more structure. I'm not here to fight any of you, but if you do try, you will die. The moment those words left Naruto's lips, the right Kage was upon him, ready to take his head off with a lariat. However, in a split second, all of that changed. The right Kage was the one that was crashed through the table, and his arm was gone. Releasing the black lightning upon Naruto, the Druid tried to take him down, but the technique fizzled away as Naruto was consuming it. Stop, said C. C was a censor. He knew more than anyone else that they would all indeed die. The power inside of him was enough to wipe away the entire land of lightning, the entire land of iron, all of it combined. Naruto walked over to the side. His head felt fuzzy. There was just so much of it. More and more was seeping into this world. He made his way and leaned up against the wall. There was just too much power. You all seem to have something to say about what I'm planning on doing. I warn each and every one of you that if you stand in my way, I would annihilate 50% of your village along with you yourself. And then a new beginning would start. However, my premise was simply there to let you understand the reality of things that would take place. All of their eyes went wide. What? Said May. But what about the other proposal? We're not fighting you. Say your piece, she said to him. It is not up to me, said Naruto. I've already sent enough power into the earth. It will be able to notify the darkness. Lash onto it. The dark chakra was fueled by the darkness within the people's heart as well. That was the first way that Naruto truly awakened it. At the depths of Sakura's death, he was special, and that could be seen from the beginning. However, the hatred. Perhaps Nagato was right. Perhaps that power was truly that much greater than everyone believed. The dark chakra was fueled by hate, attached to the chakra that fueled through all of them. You see, what Naruto was planning to do would wipe out a lot of people. It would ensure that a lot would die all over the elemental nation. The ground split apart. The entire earth started to shake. Steam. People thought it was steam coming from the earth, but it was a black fog. Little by little, it started to infect the entire atmosphere. Particles of chakra flowing into everyone's mouth, nose. Immediately their body seized up the moment it made contact with their own chakra. Some started to scream, some passed out. It was then that their bodies started to tremble. From their own skin and flesh, vines like a tree start to rise. In one village, you could see the vines pulling from the people that were on the ground and fusing into a tree. The village, with around 1,000 plus people inside of it, 60% of the population died once the vine left them. Because those that were that easily corrupted by the chakra, the darkness in their heart was that strong, and it sucked it away, suck away their chakra and their life. However, the ones that truly fought for their village, Those that saw it black and white. They were ninjas and they had to fight for their protection of their loved ones. However, those that simply wanted the destruction and chaos, those without morals, those without purpose, those that only saw the darkness, those that enjoy the death and destruction. This was not up to Naruto. No, it was not. All of the trees were forming in every single village, every single landscape where there was people. The ones that the tree leave after creating itself as a cocoon around them, and they were still breathing. They no longer had chakra. It completely rewrote their DNA, changing their structure. It completely changed them entirely. There was no longer chakra in their points. No longer chakra running through their system, and yet they still live. Team Taka found themselves collapsing on the ground. What the hell is this? Segetsu said, confused. Sasuke tried to fight it off, but he could not. Is this it? Is this your goal, Naruto? He said. To kill us all? The next moment, Sasuke was swallowed and everything went black. At the land of rain, he heard the screams. He heard the chaos. Nagato watched as everyone was being consumed. Nagato, Konan said, trying to reach him. However, she collapsed. Her entire body bind. Nagato watched as it rushed towards him as well. He could not stop it. No one could. His body was bind from the inside out as well. Within the hall where the Kages were. What are you doing? What the hell is going on? Tsunade said. It's already done, said Naruto. What's done? What did you do? Mei demanded answers, worried about her people. Don't worry, said Naruto. You'll be fine. Oniki once again tried to take Naruto down, believing that he could stop what was going on, but once again he just fed Naruto even more power. Naruto ripped open his shirt. His chest started to move before suddenly Naruto's chest burst open. The same fog spread through the area. They tried to cover their mouth, but it was pointless. Tsunade collapsed, Kakashi collapsed, Guy collapsed. All of them. As Naruto's entire body fused into a tree. But this time, unlike the others, Naruto's branches stretched out and wrapped around them. The Raikage, his anger, his decision to crush the other villages, his first thoughts to kidnap the seven-tailed Jinchuriki. His life was sucked out of him. Oniki, his desire to see the others fall, while he succeed, while they fall even if they're working together. He was swallowed. Mei Terumi, the pureness only looking out for her village, keeping her people safe. Her life was spared. Tsunade, she only wanted to help Naruto, believing that she failed. He was the one that brought her back. She only wanted to make Konoha better due to her failure, for not being there for Hiruzen or anyone else. Kakashi Hatake was also taken. His life sucked out of him. He no longer wanted to live. And the power inside of him, it understood that. Not in a way like someone would normally understand it, but Kakashi lost all of his students. He blamed himself. That was also the driven position, to take your life. That is why countless people started to fall. The despair, those that didn't want to see tomorrow, those that were simply tired, those that wanted to give up. Naruto was not doing this. It was just the power. Naruto became a tree himself. Suddenly, all the roots spanned through the entire planet and flew towards the land of iron. Every single one of them plunged themselves into Naruto. Well, his tree form that is. Every single ounce of chakra, every essence, every power flooded into him. The seal, that has been kept for years now was bind. It was under lock and key, a seal that the Sage of Six Paths had put together. However, the dark chakra of the Ten Tails recognized his power. Having no way to defend against herself, Kaguya Osusuki, a powerful woman, her essence was also sucked inside of it as well, because she could not escape or do anything while locked away. All of that power flooded into that tree. Suddenly, it started to crack. Tsunade Senju started to open her eyes, being free from the cocoon. So was many others around the world. She gazed upwards as she watched the footstep out. She looked at him. He walked over and helped her to her feet, and they vanished. Tsunade could barely stand. A cheer was provided, created from the earth itself. What did you do? Why do I feel so? I took chakra away. You're no longer able to use it, said Naruto. Many life was taken during this. A large percentage of the human population has been wiped out. Her eyes went wide. Why? Why do all of this? So many people. You've killed so many. How is this going to help us, she said. He smiled at her. As she realized that he was no longer the same, his eyes were peculiar. They were red, with strange rings in them. Horns were coming from his head. His hair was pitch white. His skin was pale, as black markings were coming from the center of his stomach, spreading outwards. Naruto stepped towards her and sat down. Start over, he said. I know you're pissed. I know you want me dead for all those that fell. Many others want me too. However, I've done what I needed to do, said Naruto. And right now there is only one way. That is why I'm glad that people like you survive. People like you who can take charge now. The other nations will come forward. They will need help. All of you will need help. And there is only one way to move forward. She saw exactly what Naruto was trying to say, but so many died. He got to his feet. Now it's my turn, he said. No one deserved this much power. As he started to walk away. You're going to... Yes. I was never meant for this world. Even when I was young, I realized that. I was always looking for an answer. I just realized I just couldn't live in it. Sakura's death was what was needed to open my eyes. I needed to fix it. But to fix it mean that I could not live in it, said Naruto. And I'm okay with that. She saw that he was struggling. He couldn't contain the power. Naruto was the Ten Tails Jinchuriki, but the power inside of him was not good. All of that corruption that it took, it was trying its best to overwhelm him. Goodbye. Forever, he said. He made his way off, like he was never there. Sasuke Uchiha opened his eyes, as Naruto was standing in front of him. He smiled at the Uchiha. You can do what you planned to do in the beginning, said Naruto. Restore your clan. Make it better. As I told you, people like you will be needed for the new world. It will be hard, but I believe in you people now. Those that remain will be able to do it. Naruto said. Sasuke looked at him. He understood. You're going to... A sacrifice had to be made, said Naruto. Just don't let that sacrifice go to waste. At the land of rain, Nagato opened his eyes. His purple eyes. His eyes were not the Rinnegan, just purple. He saw Naruto in front of him. I told you that you would see soon enough what I desired. I also told you that the Land of Rain was not alone in all of this. And now, be the leader that I know you can be, said Naruto. Be the leader that you can be. You were misguided and confused. It shows. That's the reason why you're not dead. As Naruto slowly disappeared, his final message to them, spreading over the world from the residue of his power. We later find Naruto sitting on a mountainside, just gazing outwards, with a smile on his face, a happy, peaceful smile. All the residue of chakra in the earth was drawn towards him. All the residue that was there harmfully, Naruto siphoned it all out. He knew a lot more. Kaguya Osusuki, all that. But he had a way to ensure that mankind was never harmed by these beings. He gazed towards heaven. He knew about Kakashi's death. He knew about a lot of people's death. As he looked upwards, perhaps the power understood it more than he did. At the same time, it only desire, the control. Naruto was the one that made it this way. Made it siphon those that with the same darkness as itself, or those that didn't want to go on anymore, those that were not fit for the new future, those that couldn't handle it. It seems Kakashi fell under that as well. Naruto knew that something like this might happen, but he's already been through enough. Allow him to rest in a peaceful world. It will be hard for them, but they can do it. Naruto gazed to his left as he saw the silhouette. Sakura. She was smiling at him. It was his time. Naruto got up and flew into the sky. As he looked up at the heavens, stepping out of Earth's atmosphere, slowly, his body started to grow in size. All the power reaching a pinnacle point. Suddenly, it burst. It swallowed him. The explosion was not as you think. It was not an explosion to boom, but an explosion to spread. No one, no powerful being would ever know about the elemental nation. If their sensors came, if anything came close enough, all they would feel was a dead earth, without power, without life. Now that Naruto knew what they desired, he would ensure that they would never come here, and the people would know peace. Naruto's essence was ripped apart by himself. His final act was to rip himself apart, tearing himself into nothingness. Finally, he could rest. Naruto opened his eyes, confused. He expected to feel pain. For all that he did, he expected to be suffering right now, but instead, he looked around, seeing himself in a field lying down. A calm, wonderful field of flowers. He didn't understand. Naruto got to his feet when he saw someone walking towards him. A smile. Looking just like how she looked. Just like how he looked. Around 16 to 18 years old. Impossible. Where am I? Said Naruto. You're safe. Sakura Haruna said to him. I don't understand. I'm not supposed to be here. After what I did, she placed a hand on his shoulder before she hugged him. I'm sorry. I left you alone. She said, holding on to him. I should have been there to help you. You wouldn't have had to go down this path. Your life wouldn't have taken this turn. Are you really Sakura? Of course I am, she said. But how am I seeing you? How am I here? So many people died at my hands. I'm a monster. I should not be here. Well, it seems you are, she said. And you're here with me. She smiled at him. For the first time in a very long while, Naruto let go as he started to cry, tears pooling into his eyes. He collapsed to his knees as she sat down with him, holding his hand. He couldn't believe it. He didn't expect to ever see her again. He didn't expect to go where she went after what he did. Seeing her here, he never got the chance. Naruto leaned in as he kissed her. She kissed him back without hesitation. They broke apart. I've wanted to do that for so long now, she said, but I never got the chance. Naruto got to his feet, still unable to believe it. Still unable to believe that he was looking at her as he held her close. Please, don't leave again, he said. She held his hand. I'll never leave you again. As the both of them walked off into a bright, all-consuming light, good and evil was very subjective. When it comes to one weighing their soul, where they were going, he knew what he was doing was bad. But he knew why he had to do what he had to do. And he sacrificed everything. He gave up everything. And it seems he was rewarded for that. Because the actions of Naruto Uzumaki on that day, well, time skip. Years upon years upon years later, cars were flying through the sky. No longer known as the Elemental Nation. No longer divided. The past has been, well, it was the history of the past. The name Naruto Uzumaki died as an enemy. Yes, many cursed his name. He was the one that killed around 70% of the world. Now that was saying something. 70%. Truly horrendous. They had no choice but to come together. Mei Tarumi, Nagato, Tsunade. They came together. When Naruto visited Nagato, he gave him back the ability to walk. Naruto did many things in his little trips before, giving himself up before taking everything else and going boom. The world was no longer the same, filled with all sorts of advancements, AI. It was no longer a street where they would be running to other villages. They had planes, they had cars, they had everything. The world was truly advanced. The history about Naruto Uzumaki was a bad one. A criminal that died. However, chakra was something that no one truly remembered. Neither did they remember Naruto Uzumaki. Chakra never truly recovered. It could not be used. Physical form of everyone was changed. Not even sage energy could be used by Jiraiya. At the moment, there were large families around the world, having the last name Uchiha, Sasuke Uchiha. He stepped up, along with Karin Uzumaki. The last name Uchiha was a generational name that passed down. You even had Senjus, Tsunade, working together, fixing this world. She was no longer seen as a Hokage. They were seen as something much more. Jiraiya no longer needed spy network. Who would think that something would happen between them? And who would think that she could get pregnant at this age? Shocking. Another result of Naruto giving her something that she's always wanted. The ability to have a child. The ability to live how she wanted to live. As she was no longer bound by that, well, diamond on her forehead. Her true age was shown to reality, but Jiraiya, he did not care one bit. Seeing that, they lived together until, well, they passed away. The world was no longer plagued by war and chaos. The goodness of mankind While many people believe Naruto as a monster, some saw him as one that changed the entire world. Because those that remained taught their kids, they taught the future generation how to take care of each other, how to work. Every wall was torn down, every border was dropped. Villages united. Not to say there weren't scruffles, not to say there weren't a little bit of hatred, there wasn't fighting and all of that, but it all was overcome as they prosper into a new world. The world that Naruto imagined came forward. As Naruto met his friends once again, he met them this time without the pressure of fighting for a world that he needed to fix. He met them all in the afterlife. And yeah, guys, that's where we wrap things up, guys. If you enjoyed this, I just want to say, well, thank you very much. And I'm grateful for all the support, all the help. It's been truly amazing, guys. So let's go out on a wonderful piece. You know, new what ifs coming up soon. So yeah, I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.